semblance. When these things join together, or when a person only utters lies, and that person is called a mushrik, an idolater. And if with this claim, profession in the belief of Allah, the person lies, and somebody knows that that is something wrong, that is nifaq, hypocrisy, then that means instead of faith, instead of belief, instead of believing in Allah, a person comes closer towards associating partners with Allah through this lying and falsehood. He may claim on the one hand that I am a believer, but his actions cancel out that claim of his. This is something so unfortunate that today the majority of Muslims, they have forgotten this difference between truth and falsehood. If today Ahmadis do not perform jihad, perform a struggle against this soul, against this self, if they do not try to purify their society and themselves from this, then such a stain will come upon your hearts, which has no link whatsoever with the Jamaat of the promised Messiah ﷺ and with Islam. The promised Messiah, peace be upon him, came for reformation. He came to re-establish the Shariat, and he came to bring forth the truth about Almighty Allah. And he came in complete obedience to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ to follow him. If we, that is those who claim that we believe in the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, if lying and falsehood remains within us, then how will the Shariat, the law, be established? All these claims that we are making, how will they be fulfilled? So therefore there is an extremely dire need to assess ourselves. Instead of looking at others, we must rather assess ourselves. That to what extent are we reforming ourselves? The third sign that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ mentioned of a munafiq, of a hypocrite, that when he makes a pledge, when he makes a promise, then he breaks this covenant or this promise or pledge. He does not abide by it or stay loyal to it. He becomes disloyal to that promise of his. Nowadays, these are the circumstances of the world. There is disloyalty, and in everyday routine matters there is disloyalty. On a national level as well, there is so much disloyalty that you cannot even imagine how much disloyalty is occurring on a national level. On the one hand, they claim trade and business, but there is so much dishonesty in it that this is beyond our imagination. Somebody told me, in fact somebody who is involved in trade, that in Pakistan, the basmati rice that is sent, that we have established such a method that putting some kind of iri, that is a kind of basmati rice, in between it, that is a type of quite thick rice, we put it in such a way that nobody can know about it. And they do not care at all that if somebody finds out about that, that will affect them negatively, and most of all, that it will be a national disgrace. Then there are many other things that occur in this similar manner. So this is not just disloyalty. In fact, this is dishonesty. This is also lying and falsehood. And this is only for the sake of earning money. This is why they do this disloyalty. And that Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, that they attribute themselves towards, what expectations did he have of us? He said there is no question in trade or business to do this. He set his own example. Even in war treaties, even in normal situations, he always established this, that how did he fulfill this so beautifully, that we do not find any example like it anywhere in the world. For example, at the time of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, when that covenant was being written in, then a verbal thing was being said, that the companions who were coming from Makkah, that they were sent back on the demand of the disbelievers. So the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did not say that that covenant had not been written yet, so therefore these people cannot go back. But because there was a verbal agreement, he said, okay, they can go back. Even though he was aware of this, that even if they went back, there was a danger on their life. So this was a standard that he set. So therefore today, the true lover of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, his true lovers and his true followers, so his servants must try to establish such trust, such covenants. For example, once he was going through the market, he put his hand into a heap of grain, or perhaps this was corn, and there was something wet inside, and he said, you are cheating the people. So this does not behove a Muslim. So this is a level that we must try to attain. It is then that in complete trust of Almighty Allah and in complete belief in Allah, we will be those who can truly counsel other people. Then another sign of a hypocrite is that when they argue, they use foul language and they abuse. Now we see this distinctive quality in our opponents, and this has reached